here at the A Video Game Con, Parsippany, New Jersey. Digital Press Podcast. Greg, Frankie, special guest.
Mr. Billy
The
Mitchell.
Billy Mitchell, yes. I guess, first of all, it's fantastic that to have you join us and to come up this way. So the first question is, do you come up this way a lot?
I'm up this way often because I visit Richie. We have different things going on in the game industry, things we have fun at. Maybe one day we'll make money at them, but for now we have fun with them. Most notably is the Kong Off,
Right.
and that's a lot of fun. We just finished it in Pittsburgh. Should be next year in Pittsburgh too, if all goes as scheduled.
And for our listeners, Richie is the great Richie Knuckles.
Richie Knuckles with a Z.
With a Z. Famously, recently, King of Quarters, correct? Is
Or is it King of Arcades?
King of Arcades,
King
I'm
of
sorry.
Arcades.
King of Arcades.
You just bought it, in fact.
Yes,
Yeah.
I did. A nice autographed copy.
Yeah, he's not real familiar with what we're doing here,
No,
is
I
he?
don't think so.
Okay,
I'm
that's
riffing.
All right.
I think he knows video games.
I
I'm
am
not sure.
the most unprofessional interviewer you're going to find this side of Clifton, New Jersey.
So, obviously, Billy, you were the star, one of the co-stars of the King of Kong documentary.
What's his co-star stuff?
The star. Well, they don't have you on the cover of the DVD. How did you allow this to happen?
Well, I play a little hard to get.
All right. I don't think you're on the back either. It's very
Well,
distressing.
well, you look from the back end, it never looks quite
That's
that good.
true. That's
So,
true.
all right.
But it's chock full of Billy Mitchell when you get to the meat of the story. That's
Yeah.
all Billy Mitchell all the time, really.
Yeah, the truth of the matter is making the movie was over a long period of time. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of travel. It was really super cool, and having so many friends involved in it was good, a lot of good. Their intentions, their angles, and what they came up with in the end was surprising in some ways, but that doesn't steal from the fun.
Right. Yeah, it's a great,
Absolutely.
great film. It definitely reintroduced a lot of people to the classic arcade scene.
Absolutely.
I mean, we see it around here with all the like the bars / arcades that pop up, and there's a whole bunch in the state of New Jersey and in New York City.
Hi, tech guy. Welcome to our interview.
Hi.
Wait the
There you go. Why not? So, even though as much as I love King of Kong, my favorite, still to this day, video game documentary of any kind is Chasing Ghosts. I love that thing. Unfortunately, it never came out on DVD. It is on iTunes and services like that.
Correct.
How'd you feel about that film?
Well, I haven't seen either film, which might shock you. I don't see any of the films that I'm in. I don't.
You're sort of
I'm kind of anal, and I would probably have a problem with every scene, knowing that every scene is not authentic. There is a creativity of Hollywood in everything we do. But the fact of the matter is, from what I know about each film, the value in Chasing Ghosts, it is truly historical. It does follow the timeline. It does have more truth and less creativity. And so in that way, I'm sure it's a lot of fun. I think as I look back on it, they were looking for different angles they had.
There's a plane going over. We had a duck. It might come in low.
Well, that's see the banner going over. I guess they know we're doing an interview.
Yeah. Well.
So anyway, the fact of the matter is that they made an angle where they tried to take the life of everybody in 1982 and what have they become now.
Yeah.
What's in between in their personalities. And of course, every personality has its quirks and its silliness. And they did expose a lot of that in the film, I guess. So again, if you laugh at something, if you can run with it, if you can have fun with it, you'll like either movie. If you're real anal or you have a problem with everything, you'll have a problem with it. Not a reflection on you.
No, I love that. I thought you came across very, very well.
Well, how did the other people come across? Are you trying to make a statement here?
Chasing Ghosts is a very human look at some of the people that they documented, and some people came off not as wonderfully as you did.
Like who?
Well, there's the one guy sitting in a jail cell.
Nobody I know. Must be somebody you know.
Yeah.
No.
Who's doing the interview here, me or you? All
Me.
right, back to you. Go ahead.
All right. So, yeah, I love that, and I was going to ask you, you probably don't know the answer. I was going to ask why it never came on DVD, but I'm not sure what.
No, I was told all the way back in 2007 that it would never come out on DVD for some legal technical issue that wasn't covered at the moment. Now, I was told that by the King of Kong camp. So I just disregarded it at the moment. And so all these years later, I guess they were telling me the truth, because you're correct. It's been on Showtime and on other places, but it's not been available on DVD, and I guess it won't be.
They had some music licensing issues, and when they put it on the other services, they replaced all of the original, licensed 80s music with just like kind of generic tunes, because obviously they didn't get clearances for those. So, oh well.
Maybe what we need to do is do an interview or do a film based upon them, their character, and where they've come from and where they've produced too. I can tell you some interesting stories about them and the King of Kong camp too.
Really?
Yeah, so I guess we'll do that in our next interview.
Well, I have seen there's been some YouTube, you're not involved with them, there's been some YouTube gauntlet throwing, as should we say, on involving King of Kong, particularly where I believe it was a certain Canadian game high scorer who had some accusations about the film, but it really had nothing to do with you. It's just the way that they cut the movie, the King of Kong. They cut it in a
theatrical,
in an entertaining way,
right? Yeah,
that causes emotions and people to talk about it and want to do interviews.
exactly.
I'd say they're good businessmen. What do you say?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know what kind of human beings they are, but they're good businessmen.
No, it's fine.
So they're obviously doing something better than you and me.
Clearly, since where are we here?
we're about 3 feet shy of a volleyball net.
Yeah.
That's where we are.
So
I was very saddened to see your local arcade in Orlando Airport not operational this summer when I traveled down. We did that. What was the story behind the closure of the King of Kong
it was
arcade?
an arcade. It did great. It made so much money. I just couldn't carry it all to the bank. It was a real problem. So at the end of the lease, due to the fact that it was a fun thing and it really didn't generate revenue to speak of, I had enough fun, and it was time to let it go and go on to other ventures.
Quit while you're ahead.
Yeah, such as the show we're at now.
True.
This is the pinnacle.
But no,
it's
it was
never
it
gonna
was
get any better than this.
no, but it was really fun, and it was unlike any arcade in the world. I mean, you actually thought you were standing inside of a video game.
It was
the way
great.
we did it. Yeah, it was
fantastic.
awesome. I have to control myself because it makes me want to do it again, and I don't want to. I have other aspirations in life. Things that run around my wife and kids, and things that I should be doing rather than standing 3 feet from a volleyball net.
True.
Why was there no Donkey Kong machine in there? Did
Well-
you not want somebody to beat you on your home turf?
Now that's good. That's good. I like that. Boy, you're getting spunky. I'm going to put you up with Donald Trump next. No, the fact of the matter is, initially there was not one there.
Yeah.
And me and my partner were fighting because he says, it's not going to make any money. We're supposed to make money. And I said, my argument is, it may not make money as a game, but the attention that it draws, the people that it draws, will generate money. That was my argument. Well, it got to a certain point where somebody actually loaned us a game.
Oh.
So we had it in there, and it actually did make money.
There you
So
go.
eventually it did have a Donkey Kong. But my friend in the video game business, he's smarter than me, so I took his word for it initially. But with a loaned game, how could he argue with it?
Yeah.
So the guy loaned it to us for like 2 weeks. He asked me to sign it. I signed it, and then he took it back. He basically wanted to have the game there, have me sign it, so that he could take it and sell it for a higher dollar.
Smart business all around. Everybody
So-
wins.
Yeah, not everybody is as they seem. Some are smarter and they have a more of an angle. Let's see what you guys do with this interview, and we'll see if you guys are just as smart.
For our 10 regular viewers, they'll love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Now, the Pixels film that Adam Sandler just released this summer, the Peter Dinklage played character was said to have been based on you.
No.
That's what I heard.
Guy with a beard, and he plays video games, and he's supposed to be the best, and he plays Donkey Kong, and he's a little cocky. What are you trying to say?
That was the rumor. I mean, he's probably up to your knee, but
No, he's not that tall, but
All right.
but he's a nice guy.
yeah, I've met him too. He's a very nice guy.
Yeah, actually, he is very decent.
So, how'd you feel about that film? And
Well, quite honestly, what we call Hollywood stock,
Yeah.
he is good Hollywood stock.
Sure.
Probably better than everyone else involved in the film. So, from what I understand, because I haven't seen it, he was a good part. He was a cool character. He was the best part of the movie. And I think if you take the movie for just fun, it's probably fun, and it probably invokes humor and memories. If you want to sit there and try to be anal about it and pick out logic, I mean, there's nothing logic about a bunch of video game people coming to attack Earth.
True.
It's just fun.
right.
So I'm sure they did a very good job in that.
So you don't see movies that you've starred in, and you don't see movies that there are caricatured portrayals of you in.
No, I'll see Pixels eventually.
it.
It's not on the top of my list. So, plus it's fun to do interviews about how I haven't seen it.
Yes.
And then next time I see you, we'll do an interview about how I did see it.
Shatner does that. Shatner will always say, "Well, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it."
Yeah, well, I explained to him
Okay.
the value in not seeing it,
Yes.
and he's accepted my advice, and so now he follows it. And because of that, his career's blossomed, as you
That's
know.
true. Yes.
Even though he doesn't really do films, he's more popular than ever.
Right. Don, do you have an arcade question for him?
Off the top of my head,
Well, you have you had the first Pac-Man perfect score.
Yes.
Of course. That's probably, I don't know what the score was, but it's probably a lot higher than mine. I can't get past like the third level. I'm terrible.
Greg's never gonna see a kill screen.
Oh, it's bad, very bad. And obviously, one thing I would ask is the Donkey Kong, really from King of Kong, that the competition to have the highest score, I'm not even sure who has it now, it keeps changing hands. Do you feel like you want to get back into that fight, or it's for the younger generation now?
Well, it's mostly the older generation who's still doing it.
Bro.
The truth of the matter is the scorers used to climb when they
Right.
climbed. And now they've
like
gotten
very-
so high that who actually has the highest score at the moment is pretty insignificant. But the fact is the friendships that we formed and the camaraderie we have and the time we enjoyed putting together events is really what's really super cool. Me and Richie talk about that all the time. And the fact of the matter is the way it is positioned now, where it's like March Madness, you're in brackets and you come down to who wins, who plays. It's one play, one start.
Right, yeah. That's,
Any high quality player is a contender.
Right.
And so it's actually a lot more fun.
So-
I don't really ever play,
all right.
but as my kids get older, my son, the youngest one, who's now in 11th grade, as he goes off to college, theoretically that'll free up more time. And yes, I do have fun competing. So.
Do you have a game you're currently thinking of? You know, I've never gotten a world high score on this one. I'm gonna set my sights on Centipede or Missile Command or something and go for that. No.
I got the world record on Centipede back in 1982.
Yeah.
You were almost born then.
That's what he's in the
was.
Time Life, the
Yes.
Life magazine
You're
photos
right.
for.
You're right.
Centipede.
That's what happens when I.
All right, but the fact of the matter is usually you continue to play the same games, just you continue to fine tune them.
Yeah.
Somewhere along the line, I'll take other games that I'm kind of good at, and then I'll try to push them to a record level simply because it's a way of promoting them or creating another competition with that title. So that's the truth of the matter.
So, but you foresee yourself competing at least at events for quite a while. Still enjoy it.
Competing for fun.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. It brings me different places, travel. We're talking about going to Australia, India,
Wow.
a lot of Hong Kong, a lot of places. So it's kind of hard not to enjoy those things. You're traveling with friends, and I tell them that if I go, my family has to come with me. So
Yeah.
it's definitely a win. Are you married? Or you got a family? So you have no idea what I'm talking about.
Not really. No.
I do.
Okay.
Are you? You have any plans to visit the National Video Game Museum that's opening in Frisco, Texas?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Whenever I travel, I try to find historical places with legacy, and I try to visit each one of them. And I usually just try to walk in, because it creates a unique reaction. So.
Well, Bill, thank you for.
Come on, that's all you got?
I don't want to keep you here all days.
I get paid by the question. It's not a problem.
Let's see how much.
Thank you, though.
Yeah,
really
you're out of
appreciate it.
question.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
So it's Greg again from the Digital Press podcast. We're here in Parsippany, New Jersey at A Video Game Con. And we've already spoken to Billy Mitchell, and now we have another classic arcade champion in our midst, Mr. Joel West.
Hi, nice to meet you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. So, you were known, at least back in the day, I know you from the Chasing Ghosts documentary, which I loved.
Thank you.
For Berzerk, playing Berzerk.
Right.
And I remember, it's amazing, I don't know if you, they'll keep once again, there are these planes flying above us.
That's right.
So, just real quick, if you could just retell how it is, not so much how you became playing Berzerk specifically, but how did you get recognized, you're from North Carolina, I believe.
Correct.
And just how in the middle of, small town North Carolina, you get recognized nationally for playing an arcade game.
Well, the way it happened, for me particularly, it had to happen that way. I would not have tried to work my scores up at that point in my life if I was, almost to the list or just at the bottom of the list or something. But I enjoy playing Berzerk, I enjoy playing Rally X, and I enjoy playing Battlezone. And those were my 3 games. And when I heard about Twin Galaxies, I had been playing for a good 6 months or so. So maybe 8, as much 8 months. But what I did was I sent the scores in when I heard about Twin Galaxies, and I got this nice letter back, which I still have, and it said, "Congratulations, Joel, you are the first person to have 2 records at once."
Okay.
And then I was fortunate enough to add a 3rd record, so I was the first to have 3, 4, and even 5. At the end of 1982, there were 2 people who had 5 video game world records.
Right.
I had them on both versions of Berzerk Fast and Slow, Frenzy, Rally X, and Battlezone, but I also had a pinball record on Rocky Pinball. Billy Mitchell had them on the more popular games, the easy ones for the masses. Donkey Kong, Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, Centipede, and Donkey Kong Jr. And of course, I should have went with the money and went with the popular, but
right.
I went with the hard one. I went with Berzerk and Rally X. So what can I say? But Midway was banking on Rally X being more popular than Pac-Man.
That went nowhere.
The Pac-Man is built on a Rally X a model.
Oh, okay.
So that's very interesting. But I got recognized. I was already champion when I got recognized. I didn't know it. I was very pleased with that. But I'm very competitive, and so that's how I was able to get started in it. I walked in a video arcade quite by accident looking for change for a parking meter. I didn't even know what a video game was. But I stayed in there 3 hours because I was so captivated at all the noises and lights. And Berzerk is absolutely the first game I ever saw.
Right. I remember in the film that you had complained that the current record holder at that time had kind of, I don't want to say cheated, but they'd found a workaround to the game that you felt it wasn't really in the spirit of the game, and I guess it didn't make it so much easier, but it made them, like you played it as it was intended, got a score. They played it in with this workaround and got like a ridiculous score that didn't even make sense.
Right. The Berzerk, when the average person would walk into an arcade, they would play the game. The first man would start on the left. They would go from left to right. They'd try to go top or bottom, but they'd get killed too quick, just like you always do. Unless you really know what you're doing, you can last only a few rooms in, probably. But they go from left.
That's like me.
Yeah, they go from left to right, and they keep playing.
Yeah.
That's the way the game was kind of intended. But he found out there's a pattern to the rooms that they start at the same place, and if he goes to a certain place, he can go out each exit and continue making the same rooms appear. And so actually, if you get down to it, he's playing 4 rooms over and over after he gets to about 10 or 12 rooms.
Yeah.
So he's not even playing 20 rooms in the whole.
Boring.
It was, but he got his score.
All right.
And that's where I got upset at, because even the producers of Chasing Ghosts told me, they said, we watched him play and he couldn't even get, another 10,000 after he lost his first man, because you always do the pattern on the first man.
Right.
And so it wasn't that I've challenged him many times and he will not play me.
Okay.
So I mean, what can you do?
You can't. So just in general, sum up Chasing Ghosts. Did you feel? Have you seen it? Because Billy hasn't seen it.
I've seen it many times.
I've seen it as well. Both the
I can
original.
quote my own lines in it. No, I'm kidding.
Okay. Well, I kind of did. I kind of remember what you said.
You
about
can
Spirit
teach
in
a
the Game.
monkey how to play a certain
There you
number
go.
of rooms, but you cannot teach a man how to play Berzerk.
Yeah.
I paused, they cut it, but I said with a 4-room pattern.
Oh.
They tried to make me look like a fool, just as they tried to make everyone look like a fool.
Right.
They tried to get Bingo's laugh and get him to look foolish. They tried to show Billy combing his hair, make him look foolish, and different people saying and doing different things.
Yeah.
The producer of that movie wanted a cut, wanted an angle, and he tried to initiate things. And for example, I live in the South, right? As we were driving in the car, they were filming the car scenes. There was a guy on the side of the road, old guy, nice guy, sells flags of all types. He wanted to stop and get a picture of me standing beside the Confederate flag. I refused to do it. This was before all this hubbub about the Confederate flag.
Well, it's been going on forever.
Yeah, but I wouldn't do it. And he said, why not? I said, we don't have any problems like that in this area. Everybody gets along, and I know what you're trying to do, and I'm not going to let you do it.
Well, it has nothing to do with you. I mean, it's
No.
what does
But
that do with video games?
Exactly. And you know, he got Steve Sanders.
Yeah.
Steve's a lawyer. How did he fall into this trap? He got Steve Sanders to repeat what he said to Billy back in those days before he became a Christian and a Sunday school teacher and all that.
About the cheating.
Yes,
Well,
yes. And I said, Steve, why would you repeat something to this guy? And I had to edit the movie for Steve and I gave him a clean version of it so that he could show it to his kids.
Well, there were two versions. There was the original version, which I saw a screener of, and then there was a cleaned up version. Where one of the reasons was they had to take out the original music they didn't have the licenses for.
Yeah, but
They also took out Mr. Morasic, Berzerk, as I said, and they took him out because of his artwork. That was the only major changes that I noticed. They pretty much left everybody else in.
Well, I was in the theater in New York at the premiere, and when they showed that part they didn't take out, it's like every woman in the place gasped at the same time. It's like they practiced it, but they didn't. You could feel the air being sucked out of the room.
Well, I was more gasping at the number of VHS tapes that he had, more so than the artwork.
Well,
It was like just VHS tapes everywhere.
that was. I mean, they don't throw anything away. When Twin Galaxies was sold,
Well, he was supposed to review them. You know.
he did. When Twin Galaxies was sold from Walter Day to Jace Hall,
Yeah.
I got the shipment, went through and took out Walter's personal stuff. That was a massive shipment. Okay, and then I sent the rest on to Jace Hall, and yeah, a lot of tapes. A lot of tapes.
Well, these were the score tapes. They
Yeah.
weren't even like anything
Yeah.
else, just score tapes. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh.
and some of the people who submitted things, I can't tell you who, but some of the people who submitted things to Twin Galaxies were so obsessive. You could see their writing, their handwriting. It actually looked like what they show on TV of a psychopath when they kill somebody. I won't name their names, but
But it was like obscure, like Super Nintendo games that they were playing for the record, and I'm like,
yeah.
who cares? I mean,
Right.
no one cares. There's probably 8 other people playing this game in a year's time, and whatever. So, since that time, I know that I've seen you on the internet appearing at conventions and different arcades and doing challenges,
Right.
record challenges. How long have you been doing that?
Heavy for the last year and a half. I've traveled with this trip right here, and we're taping this in September of 2015. I'm about 52. Whoa, that plane's
Oh.
low. I'm about 52,000 miles in the last 22 months
Wow.
of travel. I'll hit 60 for the year's out, and most of that's driving.
Yeah.
Okay, I enjoy going to the different events. In the next month, I will hit 3 of the 4. Wow. I will hit 3.
It's a World War II air show. What can we do?
Yeah. I just hope they don't start firing those machine guns again like they were the other time. I'll hit 3 of the 4 corners of the country before the end of this next month.
Wow.
Yeah, and I enjoy going to the shows, meeting people like you, and just the regular, ordinary folks. I'm nothing special. Just because I get to do this, I was just the person who was at the right place at the right time.
Right.
That's all. Because there were, 16 of us at the Twin Galaxies. I mean, at the event where the Life magazine came. And I was just very fortunate and blessed. As if I was Yakov Smirnov, he said America's been very, very good to me. Video gaming has been very, very good to me. So I don't make any money off of it.
Right.
But if I get my travel covered and they feed me every now and then, I'm wasting away here.
Yeah.
You can tell. I'm happy.
All right. Well, I really appreciate the time you're giving us.
Absolutely.
Thanks. Great to meet
Now,
you.
I want you to stay tuned the next few months because there's something that we're going to do very special.
All right.
You know what that is?
No.
Well, I'll tell you what it is. Okay? Going to play a video game for 100 hours without any break, pause, or sleep.
Wow.
It's going to be the Berzerk sequel, Frenzy.
All right.
Okay? You can't play Frenzy and walk away from it.
Ah.
You lose a man every 7 seconds.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to do a quick trip to the bathroom, you can.
Yeah.
When I got the record back from Paul Dean, yes, I got it back from Paul Dean. When I got the record back from Paul Dean in 2011, I didn't take my first bathroom break till hour 41 of a 42-hour game.
Oh.
Yeah. So you have to discipline yourself.
It's an endurance test.
It's an endurance test. A lot of people say, well, what's the matter? You both can play if you're that far, but competition is starting because the games are so old, becoming more into a nuance and a niche. So stay tuned for that. And if I don't make it, if I die, I die, as they said in Rocky IV.
Yeah,
If I don't make it, well, I died doing what I wanted to do. So, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks.